Walk around the compound. Well, here we are. In a rather familiar enclosure. Mr. Zeusman. He passed away this morning. Monday. I mean, these things get posted on Tuesdays. But you get the idea. And it seemed like it was a very peaceful thing. It seemed like he just walked out here and he laid on the ground and then he fell asleep and he didn't wake up. There was no sign of any like marks in the grass or in the dirt. And if a cat's having a rough go of things at the end, that can definitely be a sign, and there was no sign of that. So it seems like he just went peacefully. Old Zeus man, big boy. So yeah, it's one of those webcasts. And yesterday I was in here. I was cleaning, or mowing. I was mowing the enclosure, and he was locked up. And he was still bright-eyed. And he was locked up over there. And I was driving the lawnmower, by the lockdown. And he was, his normal old, self, but he was seeing the lawnmower and kind of just, and it wasn't like a scary kind of thing. It was kind of like, I'll get you. You come over a little bit closer. Oh, I tell you what. So he still had like that kind of, I don't know, that sparkle, that spunk, that playfulness. I mean, that was just the day before. But, yeah. He was just an old boy. He was an old big boy. He's 18. And I know we'd been talking about this for a long time, for weeks, months even, talking about Zeus being an old boy, talking about Zeus being a big boy, and how big old boys, have a short shelf life, and talking about how, his time was limited and he is not long for this world. So there's always that expectation that it could just happen at any time, that his body will just finally just decide to just shut down. And even with that knowledge, even knowing that, it's when you actually hear the words, when you get the news, it's still just, it's just that kind of damn feeling, That's life. That's life. So, another one of our beauties. Another one of our lovely, magnificent, majestic, murderous, adorable babies. It's got to be put in the ground. I don't even know what the number is at this point. I've stopped keeping count. I made the video for my old YouTube channel where I did a dedication to, like the cats that have passed away since care became care. And I had to, I had to go through all of our archives, and I counted 22 that I'd personally known. And that was on my old channel. That was years ago that I did that video. And more have gone since then. You know. Lose track. Hi, Ras. Hi, bud. Hey. Yeah. And it's, you know, there's times where, you know, there's a time and a place for any kind of semblance of mourning. And like when Heidi told me this morning, yes, you're immediately affected, but you're accustomed to it, to where your brain and your body they automatically go into that kind of business mode. Hey, Flash. Yeah. They kind of go into that business mode. Okay, now what's the next step? Okay, well, what else needs to get done around the compound? Or, you know, you keep yourself busy, and it kind of, I guess it kind of helps. And it's not about trying to deny the fact that it happened, or running away from your feelings, or anything like that. It's just, after so many years of just, you know, that's the news that you get. It's the news that you're going to get eventually with every single one of these animals. And there's always, whenever we get the news, there's always more animals. I mean, it's like you have to kind of compartmentalize. And there's somewhere they obviously affect you more than others. You know, Jelani, jeez. I actually recently watched that video again, the webcast. It was the first time since I made it. I actually watched that. Hi, Serena. Yeah, and that was a rough one. I was in a much different place for that one. You know, I was in a much different place. That one really affected me. Hi, Firebug. How you doing? You okay back there? She's like, yeah, I'm just keeping cool. Just keeping cool, Daddy-o. And a lot of times, you know, when the work is done and when all is said and done and you have the hole in the ground and you put the cat in, I mean, that's kind of maybe when things get a little bit more, you know, emotional sometimes. But then, you know, there's also the element of like, well, now I've got a big pile of dirt that I've got to put on top of this guy. And there's probably more stuff. Maybe I got to feed cats, or maybe I got to edit a thing together, or maybe I got to, you know, help do something or spend time with family or whatever. You know, I mean, life just marches on incessantly. Whether you know, feel good about it, whether you feel bad about it, life is just going to keep on going, regardless of your opinion, regardless of whatever it is that you've got going on. Hi, Tess. How you doing, baby? Oh my goodness, you're so sweet and so adorable. I definitely miss Zeus. Zeus was a special guy, you know. He really was. He was something different. He had a magic about him, you know, that was, I don't know, it was kind of unrivaled, very special, very unique. And I don't want to sit there and make it seem, you know, like some, you know, Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper, you know, fantasy dream, like, oh, I could feel his wind energy and he was speaking to me, the souls of the old. I could definitely see that in his eyes, his ancient wisdom. No, that's not what I'm getting at, but there was something very special about him. There was something very special about him. Something intangible, something was difficult to kind of put your finger on, but it just was there. It was there. And all the cats have something. They got their own special kind of thing. But I mean, you guys know what I was talking about. Zeus was Zeus. I don't know. He just had a certain charm. I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss going up and talking to him. You know, he's my friend. And you know, you think about what it is that, you know, goes into these animals. and how it comes out to affect you later on. Sorry about that, folks. Phone overheated. Things got too hot to handle. Had to let it sit for a little bit. Hey, Noe. Noe, low lion. Noe. Hey. Blue, blue. Hey. Hey. Hey, sugar pie. Oh. Well, fine. If you're going to be disinterested in me, I will be disinterested in you. No, but what I was talking about before was some of the different elements which go into what makes it difficult, you know, when the lions or the tigers, when they pass away. And I think I've alluded to some of this stuff before, and I've talked about it, you know, I mean, I've had dogs and I've had cats, and when you lose one of the bigger ones, it's different. But I kind of had to think about that. Well, why is it? And why does it feel different to me, you know, and to others? And I just kind of had to think about it. And I think that it's a couple of different things that can kind of cause the reason. Wally, you don't care. He's like, it's too hot. I don't even want to come up and say hello. It is mid-90s. It's like 95 degrees outside right now. Wally, you're a very handsome fella. Tarkar's like, I don't care. It's fine. Hi. But I think there are a couple of different contributing factors that go into what makes it difficult when you lose these guys. One, when you work with them, you have to put your body into the act of tending to them. I mean, they're so big, they're so larger than life. And forgive me if I've talked about this before. You know me, I'm forgetful. But you know, we have to load large pieces of meat and whole carcasses inside of their enclosures, and we have to go and build these large platforms and these thick chain link fences that we have to stretch onto large fencing, and we've got to get up on ladders, and we've got to really, like, even watering, like dragging hoses around the compound is a physically rigorous activity. So there's a lot of your body that you put in. Melita is peeing right now. She's peeing in her pool. You're gross. You are gross. And you know, we're gonna have to fully turn out that pool, lift up that whole thing, all with the water in it. And I don't know if you know this, but water tanks a little bit heavy when they're full of water. So yeah, you gotta put your body into it. Oh, yes, and you come up here and you're just like, what? I am very adorable and very cute, and there's nothing ever wrong with me. I don't do bad things ever. So, you got to put your bodies into it. When you're working with them, you know, we've got locks, and we've got pins, and we've got pulley systems, and we've got gates, and we've got hooks, and we've got all of these different things, and we have very specific commands and prompts that we use and utilize to communicate with each other. Oh, they're rubbing on each other. This is very cute. And very specific communication things, so that we're always making sure that we're using redundant measures to secure the cats in the lockdown areas, and we're able to safely enter into the enclosures. And we have systems of buddying and teams, and we're not working alone whenever we're doing stuff like this. And we have to be vigilant and constantly on point, and we have to constantly be reading the energy, the body language of the cats, to make sure that whatever it is that we are doing, we're doing in a safe manner, as safe as possible. So we have to put our brains into taking care of them, because if we don't put our brains into taking care of them, and if we're not paying attention, then bad things can happen. You know, you could accidentally let a cat out, or you know, you could get yourself hurt. You could get, yeah. So you got to be on point. You got to be focused. You got to be mentally there. So we put a lot of physical energy into them, and then we put a lot of mental energy into them. And then by proxy of us just being around them and just getting to know them, you see this large and imposing and potentially dangerous, this murderous creature exhibiting, exhibiting oftentimes these little kitty cat, you know, kind of behaviors. Oh, and I know, I'm grass, whatever. Just, you know what? Deal with it. I'm trying to establish a flow. I'm trying to think about what it is that I'm trying to do. Leave me alone. Kate! Kate. She's like, I'm in the shade. Oh, nope, she's actually going to come over and say hi. So, look at that. She's coming up when I say hi. And she wants to say hi. She wants to be sociable. And she wants to look at me with those big, adorable eyes of hers. And she wants to rub up on the fence. And she wants to tell me, hey, look it, I think that you're pretty cool. And I like the fact that you're around. And look it, you make me feel so good that I'm going to rub on the grass like this because I'm just feeling happy right now that you're here. And I want to express that. So you get bonded to them. You know, and you understand what it is that they are and what it is that they're capable of and the instinctual elements of them. But there are times when they can be like this. And it's very beautiful. And you get to know them and you get to know who they are personally and on an individual level. So you give them your heart. So you give them so much of yourself, these animals. You give them your bodies, you give them your brains, you give them your heart. So much that you give. And sometimes when they go, it's just the sheer raw just buildup of emotion from just all of that energy that's just been stored inside of you for however long. Yeah, it just comes out. And it feels different. It just feels different. Hi, Chompers. Hi, Chompers. Look at you. Oh my goodness. You're very cute. You were just rolling around just 2 seconds ago, and as soon as I turned the camera on you, you decided to just kind of get all tight-lipped. Decided to get all tight-lipped. Not want to be very sociable. I see. Well. I guess there's also the element that, you know, we've been here before, you know, we're gonna be here again, and then now it's like, you know, you look at every single one of them. I look at every single one of them, and I think, when are you gonna be next? When is it gonna be your time? Boo Bear. Boo Bear, you with Craig? Hi. Hi, beautiful. Hi, beautiful. Pretty baby. You know, and this whole thing, this whole social media thing is, it's when you break some of it down, it's strange. Because I started vining in the summer of 2013. And it's the summer of 2015, so it's 2 years. 2 years. And already have, when you add everything together, it's about 1 million followers. When you add everything together, there's so many people who just come to this facility now just to see these cats. But it's such a fast and brilliant thing. There's been so many cats that you guys have already known, who are no longer with us. I mean, it's just like this, you know, the light that burns bright burns the quickest, or I don't know what the actual quote is, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? And it's like, it's just, you know, we're this thing is happening, and we're catapulting forward in this in this story. You know, this story of this facility, this unique and odd chapter. Yeah. Of the existence of this facility, where we have so many people who are invested into the goings on here, and there was so many years where that simply was not the case. So this is just it is an odd confluence of factors, I will say. Oh my goodness, we got a fancy porticool unit, and we added new shade topping type stuff to increase the shade, and it actually is considerably cooler in this section right now. And then this is an evaporative cooling system that is blowing cooled air into this vector. And then of course we had some of the netting up over there, and then there's some of the leaves, and then some of like the boxing, and then the stuff. So the air kind of does pool a bit in that section, and it's a pretty neat kind of thing where there's water down in the thing there, and then like there's like drippy water that kind of moistens this stuff up here, and it just kind of, I think I gotta turn this on a little bit more. Turn them on a little bit more. There we go. And Miss Savannah Banana, still not entirely accepting of this, of these little BBs, of these young little whippersnapper neighbors of hers. But now we have an open enclosure, so there's going to be some movements that are going to be taking place. A lot of shuffling. And the facility marches on. Life marches on. Life finds a way. Oh, spiderweb, spiderweb, spiderweb. Oh, the 4 babies. Not the BBs, but the babies. Which, that's what these guys are called. Now, technically, we can call them the piranhas because they're in the piranhas enclosure. There's Peaser, there's Luca, there's Jake and Alucia over there. And we got the interns there inside their enclosure, cleaning them as we speak. So, yeah. All of that stuff and those things. And I am starting to ramble. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be ending the webcast, but I'm going to see if I can try to end it on a somewhat happy note. See if I can try to get a little bit of a squeak from Miss Sass Yum Frass. Hopefully that'll brighten up the mood a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Sass! 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 Sass, sass, sass! What, too hot to squeak? Is it too hot to squeak? Ah, really? Really? I don't get you sometimes. You are so hard to read. She is very hard to read. Well, fine, if I can't get it to squeak, I'll just go for the opposite. Just some hate. Just raw and unbridled hate. Alright, folks. As always, it's great spending time with you. And, you know, of course, if you like the content, subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends about the channel. Tell your friends about the facility, about BigCatDerek. For any of you Redditors, Imagurians, and Chivers, if you ever want to take my stuff, turn it into GIFs, post it onto those platforms, share my things, you can go ahead and do that. As long as you just give me credit, BigCatDerek, that'd be great. Because, you know, that helps to kind of spread the word and promote the brand and bring more people and then potentially more support to the facility and all that stuff. So, thanks for everything, guys. And I'll talk to you later, okay? All right. Bye-bye. Hey, Zeus. Hey, big guy. Hey, big fella. Hey, big guy. Hey, big guy. Yeah. Mr. Zeus. Mr. Zeus. Yeah, Mr. Zeus. Mr. Zeus. Mr. Zeus. Still looking good. Still looking good. Every day that he still gets to be with us is a gift. Big old fella. And he's still going strong. Still looks good. Keeps on walking away from me like a jerk. Typical boys. Hey. Hey, you. Hey. Hey, hey, hey. Can you smooch? Can you smooch? Can you smooch? Can you smooch it? Whoa, whoa. He's a good boy.